There's been a new development in relation to the abduction scandals in Thailand and Southeast Asia. The police have arrested a 32-year-old woman on suspicion of conspiring to trick two women into traveling to Thailand, who were then kidnapped and held against their will in neighboring Myanmar. Sources say the pair returned to Hong Kong safely last Saturday after their families paid a total ransom of 220,000 Hong Kong dollars. Timothy Lee tells us more.
The arrested 32-year-old beautician was taken to the police station. She's suspected of luring two women in their 20s into traveling to Thailand at the end of last year. Their families lost contact with them and were soon notified via telephone and text messages that the women were being held in a scam farm in Myanmar. Their kidnappers demanded their families pay a ransom of $28,000, which is around 220,000 Hong Kong dollars. The families called the police. Upon investigation, it was found the two women befriended a 32-year-old woman at a bar in Hong Kong, who claimed to be a beautician. The beautician then invited the pair for a free trip to Thailand on the 27th of December last year. They were promised a high reward for transporting Thai currency to the country. Upon arrival, the two women had their identification documents and mobile phones taken from them before they were brought to a scam compound. The pair were forced to undergo training related to online scams.
根據兩人所講啦，同電影嘅情節一樣。
The police said the two women's description of the compound was just like a movie scene, with barbed wire surrounding the facility while armed guards wearing camouflage patrol the area. Authorities condemned the scammers for initially tricking their victims into a friendly relationship. The two women arrived back in Hong Kong safely last Saturday after their families paid the ransom. The police have arrested the 32-year-old beautician on conspiracy to defraud. Authorities reminded residents to stay cautious of individuals who promise suspiciously high payments for performing overseas tasks. The police emphasized that conspiracy to defraud carries a maximum of 14 years in prison. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Secretary for Security Tang today said the Security Bureau will continue to follow up on the situation of residents who've been abducted from Thailand to Southeast Asian countries. A task force from the Bureau earlier traveled to Thailand and met with local authorities to discuss the issue. The team returned on Tuesday. Tang said he met with the task force team this morning to discuss the next steps related to the abducted cases. He said the Bureau will remain in close communication with the Thai government, aiming to rescue all victims as soon as possible. Under Secretary for Security Michael Chuk said on Tuesday that 12 residents remain abducted, 11 in Myanmar and 1 in Cambodia. Thai police said travelers should download a help app before visiting Thailand. The measure is to protect visitor safety and to reassure confidence after tourist abduction cases in the country. Mimo Singhai reports.
Airports are often the last location where individuals were seen before their abduction from Bangkok to neighboring countries, such as Myanmar. Many were transferred to the border of Thailand as soon as they got into a private car outside the airport, including the recently rescued mainland actor Wan Sing. Wan informed his girlfriend about his situation in the car after sensing something unusual. However, Thai police said Wan's rescue could have happened earlier if he had used the app Thailand Tourist Police. Launched last month, tourists can file abduction reports to the police via messages. The app will then ask questions like, where did the incident happen? Individuals can upload photos or share their locations. Thai police said the app operates 24/7.
Do not hesitate to press the SOS button. When the staff see your request, we can check from our master data.
Thai authorities said they have received about 1,000 help cases since the app's operation. Not all of the reported cases were related to kidnapping.
The person that used this application, they use for translation a lot, or they're missing something in the taxi and they want us to inform to the taxi in Bangkok.
The app is currently available in 5 languages: English, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Russian. Authorities say they may add Cantonese and will contemplate how they can remain in contact with users whose phones are switched off. Members 9, TVB News.
The Narcotics Bureau will start using rapid test kits to detect if smoking devices contain space oil. This in order to clamp down on the drug, which can lead to users developing serious symptoms, including memory loss and hand tremors. Celine Chan reports.
A standard rapid test kit pack for space oil includes this test tube similar to that of a COVID-19 rapid test kit and testing solution. The procedure is simple. Open the testing tube, wipe the test paper through the mouthpiece and filling ports of the vaping device, then soak it into the testing solution for 10 to 15 seconds, and the results will be available in 2 minutes. One colored line will signify a positive result and 2 a negative result.
The officers will actually conduct the stop and search just like in an ordinary manner. When they find the vapes, they will conduct inquiries, they will ask questions, and they will also conduct observations before conducting the interception. If they, after conducting all the necessary inquiries are seen, and they are still unable to form the reasonable belief, and they still suspect that the vapes actually contain tabloids or space oil drugs, they will use the test kit.
The etomidate test kits can detect a very small quantity of etomidate, and the accuracy rate is as high as 99%. But what happens to the other 1% outliers?
As a standard procedures, we actually send the vapes to the government laboratory for forensic examination. Actually, the result from the government laboratory will form the basis for prosecution.
All frontline officers must complete an online course to learn the test kit's operating procedures before they are allowed to use them.
The police said they have already purchased a sufficient amount of rapid test kits for all the police regions and districts. Celine Chan, TVB News.
An off-duty police officer tried to seize the gun of another policeman by force at the Tsim Sha Tsui police station. Both were injured. The off-duty officer was arrested for allegedly filming under a skirt and was brought back to the police station for questioning this afternoon. During the investigation, he reportedly attempted to grab the investigating officer's firearm, but did not set off the weapon. He was quickly subdued. The Housing Authority today launched the Report Public Housing Abuse Award. A $3,000 cash reward and an appreciation certificate will be offered to people who provide genuine and concrete information that leads to an issuance of a notice to quit to tenancy abuse households. Under the scheme, informants must be 16 years old or above. The Housing Authority estimated they would receive an average of 1,300 effective report cases per year after the implementation of the system, which would cost roughly $3.9 million. Welcome back. The monthly Choice magazine press conference was held by the Consumer Council today, where the council advised residents to be aware of the cybersecurity of smart televisions. Anip has the story.
The Consumer Council warned that data leakage is a risk associated to the use of smart TVs, as these devices are connected to the internet, and many do not perform well in protecting the data of consumers.
The Council reminds consumers to treat smart TV as smartphone or computers, and to always be mindful of the cybersecurity when using them.
The Consumer Council also conducted tests on some models of smart TVs to evaluate their performance on factors such as picture and sound quality.
The OLED model indeed has better qualities, but they also come with a higher price. Also, in terms of purchasing online, which has become quite common, a lot of the standard that was purchased online may not be suitable for use of Hong Kong.
The rental of powered wheelchairs was also evaluated by the council, and they advised people to choose their model carefully.
Consumers should compare the functions, ease of use, depreciation rates of power wheelchair before renting. so as to select the model that is best suited for the need and affordabilities.
The council stressed that speeding on powered wheelchairs can endanger both the user and others.
Negligent use of wheelchair causing personal injuries or property damage could lead to civil liabilities.
Advice on electric vehicles were also provided. Consumers were asked to consider the availability of charging stations and car maintenance services. The Consumer Council said they received complaints from electric vehicle users about unnotified extra fees for parking and charging spots for extended periods. The council urged EV charging service providers to be clear about any extra fees.
Communication, display on the clarity of terms and conditions, the way that you charge, I think, is very important.
The Consumer Council said they wish to highlight to the public that the Choice magazine is now available online for free, offering extensive consumer information and helpful tips. And TVB News.
Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Rosanna Law said nearly 45 million tourists came to Hong Kong last year. Law said the figure matches an earlier forecast. In a written reply to a question in the Legislative Council, Law said the number of mainland tourists in Hong Kong last month surpassed 3.1 million, averaging more than 100,000 visitors per day under the multiple entry individual visit scheme. Law said the government will continue to attract visitors from the mainland and overseas based on the measures set out in the development blueprint for Hong Kong's tourism industry 2.0. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has announced his intention of creating a new agency called External Revenue Service to collect tariffs, duties, and other revenues from foreign nations. Danny Zhou reports.
Donald Trump said the External Revenue Service would be set up on January the 20th, the day when he takes office as U.S. president for a second term. In a social media post, he wrote, "Through soft and pathetically weak trade agreements, the American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world while taxing ourselves." Trump called for a change and vowed to charge those who make money off the U.S. with trade. But existing agencies are already tasked with similar functions. The tariffs are established by the Office of the United States Trade Representative and the Commerce Department, and then collected primarily by the Customs and Border Protection. Some analysts said Trump's proposal is not compatible with his pledge to improve government efficiency. This as Tesla's CEO Elon Musk and fellow entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy were appointed by Trump to head the Department of Government Efficiency in a bid to slash government spending. Meanwhile, Trump has promised tariff hikes across the board, a policy that could shore up costs for American families and businesses. In November, he announced his intention to impose a hefty 60% tariff on China, along with the 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Bloomberg News reported that members of Trump's economic team, including his Treasury pick Scott Bessent, are mulling a gradual approach to trade levies. One of the ideas under discussion involves a schedule of slowly ramping up tariffs by about 2 to 5% each month. People familiar with the matter said it would rely on executive authorities under the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The plan is only preliminary and has not yet been presented to Trump. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
That's the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.